There comes a moment in your life where you have to realize that nothing outside of you is going to save you. Not the job, not the career, not the family, not the friendships. Nothing outside of you is going to save you. And you have to realize that this is a shift that has to be internal. This is something that has to be a you thing. No one can show you, no one can teach you, no one can bring you to the thought frequency. No one can do that for you. A lot of us never know how to get there. We never know how to find it. We sometimes do observe it in other people. We see it, and we sometimes don't know what it is, but it eventually dawns on us as people when we are perfectly aligned with our purpose. And I know perfectly aligning with your purpose is also another form of groundwork that you have to do, but it's worth it, and it's worth doing the groundwork. The other side of it is 10 times much more rewarding. Welcome to One Intention, and today's episode is going to speak to purpose and intention. And One Intention, the podcast, is about mindset shift and personal growth, and having the conversations that we don't always have out loud. At its core, aligning with your purpose and intention basically just requires you to give yourself attention, listen to all your positive thoughts. Ignore everything else that's happening outside of you, because the pressure is always coming from outside. There's never pressure that brews from inside a person. And then we get the pressures from outside, and over time, the external pressures override our own vision, overrides our own ambition, overrides your own purpose. And that completely throws you off course and puts you out of alignment with your core purpose, which is a journey you have to take to get to where you need to get, right? And me starting this podcast, this content, is something I had to sort of play around with. The idea had been lingering for over 9, almost 10 years. This is many years ago. It just took me a while because I thought I had to meet the external pressures first. I had to look outside of myself. I had to find other things that other people are doing. I had to look somewhere else. Instead, it got to a point where I had done so much of looking outside that the void just got deeper. And I was like, I've done all of the looking outside. I've been interested in what other people are interested in. I just need to entertain this little, small, tiny idea of starting this content, of starting this podcast. And all of that because I had doubts and I doubted my intelligence. I'm not saying I'm the most intelligent person, but I doubted my intelligence, and I thought, but how am I going to say this? Will people listen to, does it make sense? You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Whether I have the right level of intelligence to start this podcast or not, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for myself. I want to see if it'll yield different results, or it'll create a different life experience for myself than all the other options that I've entertained. And guess what? I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited to be creating this content. I love every moment of having to create this content. Absolutely every moment. Here we are sitting here going through all that we have to go through to get this adulting life right. Nobody gets it right. We're all winging it. We are all conceptualizing our ambitions for clarity to get to a vision that only we can see, right? But here we are sitting, executing this beautiful idea for you and me to get to a wonderful place. And I hope that we will. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 concepts that I would like for us to sort of chat about, and anyone else who's listening and watching, I want you to take these 3 concepts to the next level. I want you to think about them, I want you to process them, and I want you to actually put them in action. This is also some of the things that I learned on my journey to having to do this podcast, from other creators, from books, from texts, from everywhere, that this is what you need to do to learn how to get what you want in life. And I processed, put that into action, and here we are. So the first concept is to stop abandoning yourself. You're going to believe that something is wrong with you. You are the problem, even when it's not. Even when it's external and it's another person or it's an environment, because you are not prioritizing yourself. You're not putting yourself first. You're not listening to your own emotions. You're not listening to your own intuition. So you have to always put yourself first. You have to process the information first. You have to have the first line of understanding before you can take care of someone else. A lot of people speak of pouring from an empty cup. Do not pour from an empty cup. I know it's such a cliche and we say it all the time, but until you start pouring from an empty cup, you will know. You will know how important and how serious of a matter it is to not pour from an empty cup. You will be left carrying the weight of everything around you if you pour from an empty cup and you don't prioritize yourself and you don't give yourself time and space to breathe and heal and come back stronger so that you can show up for those that need you, or so you can balance out the showing up from both ends, from your end and the people in your life's end. The second concept is to stop shrinking to be accepted. This one boils my blood because we do it and we do it consciously. And I'll explain why I say we do it consciously. We shrink ourselves to be accepted because we sometimes step into spaces where we feel insecure about what we bring, how we're showing up, how we're being perceived. Do we look like we are a certain way? Does it seem like I am this way? Do I need to care about, this person cares about this? That means I need to show up the way they need to care about me. I need to be included. Every part of our insecurities sparks like wildfire when we decide to shrink. If you are confident in yourself and you believe in yourself and you have a firm understanding of who you are, what you represent, and if you're bringing enough value, there shouldn't be a need for us to shrink ourselves. Because if you are showing up in a space where you don't have the context, but you have your own projection of what that space, how that space matters to you, the best form of approach is to be yourself and allow that space to show you the gaps that you may have or how you can work with that space just the way you are. You don't have to shrink or be arrogantly overconfident to kind of fit into a space. Understand the environment first. Understand the ecosystem. Understand where you fit in. You don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, or you don't have to be the most quiet person in the room. You need to balance out. In an ecosystem, there is a balance. There is nothing that's more important than the other in a healthy ecosystem. So when you shrink yourself, you're taking away from the bigger picture. You're taking away from the ecosystem that you've inserted yourself in. And that's going to sort of affect the balance. So it's very important that you show up as you are. You get recognized as what you are. You've done the work, right? You've done what you can with what you have. And you are where you are because you need to be there. So don't shrink yourself. Don't ever think, I don't have enough money. I don't have this. I shouldn't be here. I'm not qualified. You are qualified. That's why you're there. You have all the things that you need to be where you are. Don't forget that. Third and final concept is to stop believing the stories that say, this is how I am. That's not how you are. Your circumstances, your experiences, external issues, or anything else outside of you that you didn't have the power to control is what shaped the version of you that you have in front of you. But you're responsible for that. If you want to keep that, go for it. But if you understand that you had no control, it's circumstantial, but you are at a place where actually you don't want to be selfish. You don't want to be angry anymore at the world, at the people around you. You are responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your life, your decisions. You cannot constantly be using this is how I am. This is who I am. This is somebody else's fault because I've done nothing. I'm the victim. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. You have to take responsibility of your life. You have to take responsibility of your own thinking, your decisions, your mentality, your perspective. It has to all be shaped by your new way of approaching life. As not a child, as not a victim or a helpless person, you have to decide, actually, maybe alcohol is not doing anything for me. And I'm not taking a jab at alcohol. Maybe alcohol is not doing anything for me. It hasn't done anything for me for the past 7 years. Let me try being sober. Alcohol will still be there if you ever want to try it again. It'll still be there. But look at the things in your life that make you the way you are. Are those things serving you? Do they matter to your bigger picture? Do you understand why they make you the way you are? Look at those things. If you evaluate at least 5 of those things, you'll see that, okay, they're not serving you. They're actually delaying you. They are actually keeping you out of circles that you could have gotten into and fast-tracked your own growth and pivot. But evaluate them and understand whether or not they are serving you or taking away from you, chipping away at your life. And to tie this all together, there was a time in my life where I was questioning myself so hard. And this is what drove me to my growth. This is what drove me to discover creators like Dan Coe, to find your Jordan Petersons, to find all these thought leaders and all these teachers that got me to a different level of myself. I used to question myself. I used to ask myself, what do I want? Am I ready? Am I worthy? Would people care? And it was never about being ready or being worthy or other people in the first place. It was about me aligning myself with my purpose, why I wanted to do this so badly, and who I needed to be to actually have this realized into the thing I wanted to be, the content creator that I wanted to be. Because then the person who was thinking about becoming this version was not this version. She was not. She was a meek, confused, young girl looking out on other wonderful, learned, inspiring creators thinking, how could I possibly ever get there? How did those people get there? What do I need to do to get there? Who do I need to speak to? Who do I need to know? What do I need to see? What work do I need to do to get there? To be those people, because they, just like me, are people. They weren't born great philosophers. They weren't born great presenters. They weren't born great hosts. They were born people just like you and me. They just put in the work. They just asked the right questions. They just looked in the right direction. Are you happy with the person that you are? Is that who you want to be? Is that who you want to keep being like that? If you're happy and you're content and you're looking for absolutely no growth or change in perspective and an approach to how you see the world and how you engage with the world around you, that's fine. But I'm giving you this challenge out of the goodness of my heart. I'm giving you this challenge and I'm saying, let's grow together.